So we're back in the airport again, and we are really excited because our next destination is Athens, Greece. And I've always wanted to go to Athens because of all of their ancient monuments you can see, like the Parthenon and all that kind of stuff. But I have to admit, I'm also really keen on trying a lot of Greek food while we're there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Millions of tourists visit Athens every year to check out sites like this, the ancient Agora, but Athens has a lot of modern amenities as well. So today we're going to check out as much of Athens as we can. Let's take this opportunity to transport ourselves back in time. Welcome to ancient Greece. My name is Professor Alan Rice, and this is TMD at OC. I'm standing in the middle of the ancient Agora, but we're surrounded by the modern city of Athens, Greece. Millions of tourists come here every year to experience places like the Agora, the Acropolis, and the Parthenon. Athens is the capital of Greece and is located on the shores of the Aegean Sea in the Mediterranean. It's one of the oldest cities in Europe, and it's home to some of the most significant ancient landmarks in the Western world. The cityscape is dominated by the Acropolis hilltop and the Parthenon, which can be seen from almost anywhere in the city. Today, over 3 million people call Athens home. Athens is served by a major international airport, which is about an hour east of the city center. And we were pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to get around in Athens because of the modern public transit system that serves the metropolitan area. There's also a large cruise ship terminal at the port of Piraeus. The port of Piraeus is the biggest port in all of Greece. And here you can get on a cruise ship where you can tour the Mediterranean, or you can get on a fast ferry that will take you to a place like Santorini or Naxos. Or, if you're lucky, you can get on a smaller ship and do a day cruise to one of the many islands off the coast of Athens. Athens is also a really walkable city. Most of the major attractions are conveniently located near the city center. Major attractions including the Acropolis Museum, Syntagma, and Monasteries squares are all located within about a 20-minute walk of each other. Today, we're going to visit the biggest attraction in Athens, which is the Acropolis. In the ancient Greek, Acropolis means the highest city, and a lot of ancient cities had acropolises, but Athens is the Acropolis. One thing we want to understand is that the Acropolis and the Parthenon are not the same thing. The Acropolis is the hill, and the Parthenon is the main structure on top of the hill. If you enter by the west entrance near the Acropolis Museum, then on the way up to the Acropolis you'll come across the first big attraction, which is the Odeon of Herodes. The main entrance to the Acropolis proper is by way of the Propylaea, which is overlooked by the Temple of Athena Nike. Be careful on the stairs, though. They're made of marble and have been worn really smooth by thousands of years of people ascending the hill, and it can be pretty slippery, especially if it's rained. After you pass through the entrance on the way to the Parthenon, you'll pass the Erythraean temples with its 6 female statues that act as columns for the temple. And rumor has it that Poseidon and Athena battled for the patronage of Athens. You can figure out who won. But the temples are dedicated to both gods. Then comes the reason for the visit, the Parthenon itself, which is one of the most important structures in the ancient world. We just couldn't believe our luck. We were almost the only people there. The Parthenon is in pretty constant state of being restored, so expect to see some scaffolding, cranes, and workers. We found the best views on the far side of the structure when we were there. One of the interesting things we didn't know before we visited the Acropolis is how many cats there are. They're easy to spot, sunning themselves on the various ancient monuments. Some say that cats have inhabited the Acropolis and the Agora longer than people. They certainly were showstoppers. You can even take a Cats of the Acropolis tour. So no visit to the Acropolis would really be complete without coming here. This is the Acropolis Museum, and it's a fabulous piece of modern architecture that houses a lot of the artifacts that have been brought down from the top of the hill. Its massive glass windows allow people to see the Acropolis while they're browsing the artifacts in the museum. Give yourself at least a few hours to go through the museum. It's a really incredible place, and the artifacts are stunning. You'll see everything from the friezes that have been brought down that used to go around the outside of the Parthenon. One of the main exhibits are the Parthenon friezes that are located in the Parthenon Gallery. These marbles were brought down from the Parthenon and are now presented in the layout that reflects their original placement above the columns on the Parthenon. Another favorite exhibit are the original female pillars from the Erythraean temple that are now preserved inside the museum. These 2,400-year-old pillars are marvelously intricate statues, and they're presented as they would have been situated on the temple. We would absolutely love to show you the dozens of incredible pieces in the statue gallery, but you're not allowed to film there or take pictures in there, and this may be due to the anatomically correct nature of a lot of the pieces. It's hard to understand ancient Greece without coming to this place. This is the ancient Agora, and it's the marketplace in ancient Greece where everything happened. Social things happened, political things happened. It was a hub of economics as well. I feel like I'm walking in the footsteps of St. Paul and Socrates, both of whom preached and taught their philosophies here. So next door to the ancient Greek Agora is the Roman Agora. It was built in the 1st century AD and the market was moved here. It's quite a bit smaller than the ancient Greek Agora, but still well worth visiting. It's kind of like a bit of a history layer cake because you've got historical elements here from the Byzantine to the Roman, all the way up to the Ottoman Empire. And if you've got an afternoon, it's well worth coming to see along with the Agora. Now, one exception to all of the important sites to visit in Athens being within an easy walking distance to one another is the National Archaeological Museum. It's about a 2-kilometer walk from the other sites. It took us about half an hour, but it was actually a nice walk. You get to see some of downtown Athens. If you're in Athens, you really should take the time to come and see the National Archaeological Museum. It's one of the most significant museums in all of Greece. It has artifacts that range from the Neolithic through the Bronze Age and all the way up to the Roman era. We're really excited to check it out, so here we go. Let's see what they've got. Okay, next are my 2 favorite exhibits. First is the Jockey of Artemision, which is a large Hellenistic bronze statue of a young boy riding a horse, and it was dated to around 150 to 140 BC. It's a large sculpture, and it is just an absolute stunning piece near the entrance to the museum. Next, and perhaps the most incredible sculpture in the collection, is this one. Scholars aren't sure whether it's supposed to be Zeus or Poseidon, but given the Athenians' affinity for Poseidon, it's more likely to be him. It's from about 450 BC, and it's considered the highlight of the museum's collection. Okay, so enough of ancient Athens for right now. The modern city of Athens has a lot to offer too. They've got tremendous shops, restaurants, places to hang out, and it is an incredibly walkable city. So take some time, get lost in the Plaka, explore the shops, eat on the patio, and enjoy modern Athens. The Plaka basically fills in the gap between the base of the Acropolis and Syntagma Square. And here you're going to find just endless shopping, restaurants that spill into the street, and a myriad of people shopping. But remember, check your credit limit because this is not a cheap place to shop. The Plaka is one of the oldest sections of Athens. It's mostly a pedestrian-friendly area that's full of shops and restaurants. When we weren't touring the ancient sites, we spent most of our time exploring this area of downtown Athens. It's a pretty touristy area, and there's a lot of interesting alleyways that spout off the 2 main streets in the area, which are Nikis and Voulis streets. We're in the absolute heart of Athens. This is Monasteries Square, and between here, the Plaka, and Syntagma Square is the center of what happens in Athens from a tourist point of view. The locals are out, the tourists are here, and it's a great place to start exploring modern Athens. So we are going to do a short walk from Monasteries Square to the Athens Central Market. And on the way, we're going to stop at a couple of neat little places. So follow along. So we're here at Creme Royale Bakehouse and Cafe, and and we're having a piece of traditional Greek pie. Now this is not your typical apple pie, blueberry pie. This is a savory spinach and feta pie. And it is spinach and feta layered in with a phyllo pastry. And we're just gonna try it and see how it goes. Oh, it's nice and warm. That's fabulous. It's super savory. The phyllo is nice and light. The feta is amazing. So yeah, when you're walking from Monasteries Square down to the Central Market, make sure you check this place out. It's really fabulous. They have a giant selection of pies. So one of my favorite things to do when we come to Athens is to come downtown and have a traditional Greek coffee. It's really interesting because the traditional Greek coffee is boiled, not brewed, in a vessel called a brika, and they heat the brika in a hot sand. The coffee is ground up to a very fine powder, and you know your coffee is ready when it boils to the top. In Canada, we might call it a cowboy coffee because the grounds are still in the coffee. We won't talk about, however, that the Greek coffee was influenced by the Turks in the Ottoman era. And anyways, how could you be in a better spot having a traditional Greek coffee than downtown Athens?
That is coffee.
Syntagma Square is incredibly important in the Greek culture and politically as well. It's the home of the Hellenic Parliament and the legislature, as well as some really significant monuments, including the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The Unknown Soldier's tomb is guarded by 2 guards who stand there motionless all day long, except for every hour when they switch guard posts. And then every day at about 11 o'clock, they have the ceremonial changing of the guard. But if you can be here on Sunday, it's really quite a spectacle. The guards are in their dressed whites, they are piped in by a parade, and there's a massive crowd. So if you want to see this on Sunday, you have to get here early, maybe about 10 o'clock, to get a good spot to watch the show. During the week, the guards are in their normal traditional uniforms, but on Sundays, they're all in ceremonial white uniforms. The whole event takes about an hour, and the police block the streets around the Parliament for the show. When we were there was a pretty heavy police presence due to protests about the war in Gaza. But watching the changing of the guard with their white ceremonial uniforms being piped in by the band, it was just an incredible sight. Shouldn't be missed if you've got the opportunity. Athens Central Market will be a daily stop for many Athenians. Here you're going to find fresh meats, fish, vegetables, and restaurants will come here and choose what's going to be their meals of the day. And it's a great spot. It's vibrant, lots of activity. In the center of the market, you're also going to find a restaurant where the local market people go to have lunch, and where you're going to see some tourists and Athenians, but it's a really authentic Greek food experience to come and eat here in the market. You can't come to Greece and not immerse yourself in one of the world's best known and loved cuisines, which is the Greek cuisine. We've had an opportunity to experience traditional Greek cuisine in a number of settings. We've been on rooftop patios overlooking the Acropolis. We've been in restaurants that have flown into the streets in the Plaka. Tonight we're on a beach restaurant on a Greek island, and everywhere we've been, we've just had such incredible experiences with the cuisine and the people, and I think it's just an extraordinary way to experience the Greek cultures through food. Athens, and Greece as a whole, has a whole lot more to show you than what we've been able to cover in our short film. Athens has so many more ancient sites and artifacts and so many more modern amenities that you're going to want to go check out. Some of those might be the Olympian Zeus site or the site of the modern Olympic Athens Games. But if you've got some time and are able to take short trips out of Athens, then perhaps you might consider Meteora and the monasteries in the sky, or to come to this place, which is Naxos, which is a Greek island. And it would be a bit of a challenge to come here and not have a Greek island experience too. I hope you've enjoyed our video. Please come to Athens in Greece and experience everything that they have to offer, from the ancient to the new, from the shopping to the cuisine, the travels around and the scenery, and most of all, the incredible people you're going to meet while you're in Athens.